Admiral Kang Ho walked into the big meeting room on Nexus Prime. His boots made loud sounds on the metal floor. The room was huge, with walls that showed pictures of space and stars. In the middle was a big table where the most important people in the Galactic Empire sat. The Empire had ruled the galaxy for 3,000 years. They had taken over 847 star systems. Any planet that said no to them was destroyed. The Empire was strong and everyone was afraid of them. Kang Ho was different from the other people in the room. He was human. Most humans in the galaxy were slaves. But Kang Ho had fought hard and become an admiral. The Empire leaders did not trust him much, but they needed him because he was good at war. "Admiral?" said Empress Veltara. She was tall and had green skin like a snake. Her eyes were yellow and cold. "Tell us about these new humans we found." Kang Ho looked at the big screen that showed a planet called New Busan. It was far away from the main part of the galaxy. The planet looked small and quiet. "We found them 3 days ago," Kang Ho said. "They have a small town on this planet, maybe 50,000 people. They grow food and mine rocks. Nothing special." Dr. So Jin stood up. She was a scientist who studied different types of aliens. She had been looking at humans for many years. "The humans are weak," she said. "They have basic ships and simple weapons. They cannot fight our fleet. But there is something strange about them." "What do you mean?" asked General Tekver. He was a big alien with 4 arms and red skin. Dr. Sojin touched her tablet and showed pictures on the big screen. "Humans learn very fast. They copy our technology and make it work. In other places where we found humans, they had tools that should not exist." Empress Veltara made a sound like a snake. "Are you saying they are dangerous?" "No, my lady," Dr. Sojin said quickly. "They are just different. Humans think in ways we do not understand. But they are still weak. Our ships are much better than theirs." Far away on New Busan, Commander Taimin was in a secret room under the ground. He was young but had scars on his face from fighting. Around him were screens and computers that looked very advanced. "The Empire ships are coming," said Bo Young. She was an engineer who made weapons and ships. 3 days, maybe 4. Taimin nodded. "Good. We have been waiting for this day." Other humans in the room looked worried. "Commander, we only have 200 ships," said Captain Hyunwoo. "The Empire has thousands." "The Empire thinks we are weak," Taimin said with a smile. "They think we are just farmers and miners. They do not know what we really are." Bo Young turned on a screen that showed space around their planet. "The hidden bases are ready. All ships have the new shields. The Empire will be very surprised." Back on Nexus Prime, Kang Ho was reading reports about humans. Something felt wrong to him. He had been a slave when he was young. He knew how humans thought and acted. These reports did not match what he knew. "Admiral Kang Ho," said Empress Veltara, "you will take 200 ships to this New Busan planet. Make the humans surrender. If they say no, destroy their city. Show them what happens when someone fights the Empire." Kang Ho bowed his head. "Yes, my lady." "This should be easy," said General Tekvar. "Humans always give up when they see our big ships." Dr. Sojin looked at her tablet again. She had been studying humans for 5 years. There were things about them that worried her. Humans appeared in strange places across the galaxy. Sometimes, they had technology that was too good for a slave race, but every time she tried to learn more, the humans would disappear. After the meeting, Kang Ho went to his office. He looked out the window at the huge city below. Millions of aliens lived here, all serving the Empire. The Empire was so big and powerful that no one could fight it. But Kang Ho remembered stories his grandmother told him when he was little. Stories about humans who lived free among the stars. Stories about humans who were not slaves. He always thought they were just dreams. His door opened, and Dr. Sojin came in. "Admiral, can I talk to you?" "What do you want?" Kang Ho asked. "You are human. You understand your people better than we do. Do you think they will fight, Kang Ho thought for a moment. Humans are strange, he said. Sometimes they give up easy. Sometimes they fight even when they cannot win. But these humans on New Busan are just farmers. Maybe, Kang Ho said, or maybe they are something else. Dr. So Jin left, but her words stayed in Kang Ho's mind. He had seen the pictures of New Busan. The buildings looked normal. The people looked normal, but something felt wrong. That night, Kang Ho got ready for the trip to New Busan. His fleet was big and strong. Each ship could destroy a city. The humans had nothing that could stop them. But as he walked to his ship, Kang Ho thought about his grandmother's stories. She used to say that humans were special, that they could do things other aliens could not do, that someday humans would be free. On New Busan, Taimin was talking to people all over the galaxy. He used secret codes that the Empire could not break. His messages went to humans on 1,000 different worlds. The time has come, he said into his communicator. Operation Freedom starts now. Get ready. Across the galaxy, humans who looked like slaves and workers got his message. They smiled and started to move. They had been waiting for this day for many years. Bo Young was in her workshop making final changes to their ships. The Empire thought human technology was simple. They were wrong. Humans had been watching the Empire for decades. They had learned how to make everything better. The shields will hold, she told Taimin, and our weapons are ready. Captain Hyunwoo was nervous. What if we are wrong? What if we cannot win? Taimin put his hand on the captain's shoulder. We are not fighting to win today. We are fighting to show the galaxy that humans are not afraid. The next morning, Kang Ho's fleet left Nexus Prime. 200 big warships jumped into hyperspace. They would reach New Busan in 2 days. The Empire leaders watched them go. They were sure this would be easy. Humans always lost when they fought the Empire. But on New Busan, the humans were not afraid. They knew this was just the beginning. The Empire thought they were attacking a small farming world. They had no idea they were about to start a war with the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Taimin stood in his command center and watched the stars. Soon, Admiral Kang Ho would arrive. Soon, the Empire would learn what humans could really do. The war for the galaxy was about to begin. Captain Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of Defense Station Alpha. Through the big windows, he could see the planet New Busan spinning slowly below. It looked peaceful with its blue oceans and green lands. But today, peace would end. Captain, said Lieutenant Min Ho from his computer station. Empire ships are coming out of hyperspace. Hyunwoo nodded. He had been waiting for this moment for 10 years. How many ships? 200, sir. Big ones. Around the bridge, other humans worked, at their stations. They looked calm, but Hyunwoo could feel their fear. The Empire fleet was huge. Each ship was bigger than their entire space station. On the biggest Empire ship, Admiral Kang Ho looked at New Busan through his window. The planet looked so small and quiet. He could see a few human ships moving around it. They were tiny compared to his warships. Admiral, said Captain Veltak, his second-in-command, should we destroy the human ships first? No, Kang Ho said. The Empress wants them to surrender first. Then we can take some slaves before we destroy the rest. Kang Ho opened a communication channel to the humans. His face appeared on screens all over New Busan. Humans of New Busan, he said in a strong voice. I am Admiral Kang Ho of the Galactic Empire. You are now part of our empire. Surrender now and some of you will live as slaves. Fight us and you will all die. On Defense Station Alpha, Captain Hyunwoo smiled. He had waited so long to hear those words. Open a channel, he told his communications officer. Hyunwoo's face appeared on Admiral Kang Ho's screen. Kang Ho was surprised. The human captain looked confident, not afraid. Admiral Kang Ho, Hyunwoo said. My name is Captain Hyunwoo. We have heard about your empire. We know what you do to other planets. Then you know you cannot win, Kang Ho said. Surrender now. No, Hyunwoo said simply. We will not surrender. We will not become slaves, and you will not destroy our world. Kang Ho was confused. All other species surrendered when they saw the Empire fleet. Why were these humans different? You have seen our ships, Kang Ho said. You have maybe 20 small ships. We have 200 big warships. How can you fight us? Hyun Woo's smile got bigger. You should ask better questions, Admiral, you should ask. How long have we been preparing for this day? Down on New Busan, Engineer Bo Young was in a big underground room filled with computers. She was talking to other humans all over the planet. Defense grid is ready, she said. All hidden stations are online. Shields are at full power. What the Empire could not see was that New Busan was not just a farming world. Under the ground, humans had built a massive defense system. They had been working on it for 50 years. Back in space, Admiral Kang Ho was getting angry. Last chance, humans. Surrender or die. We choose to fight, Captain Hyun Woo said. Then he closed the communication. Kang Ho turned to his weapons. Officer, destroy their space station. The Empire ship fired its main cannon. A beam of red energy shot toward Defense Station Alpha. It was powerful enough to destroy a city, but something impossible happened. A blue shield appeared around the station. The red beam hit the shield and bounced away. The station was not damaged at all. What? Said Captain Veltak. That's impossible. Humans don't have that technology. Admiral Kang Ho stared at the screen. The shield around the human station was better than anything the Empire had. Fire all weapons, he ordered. 10 Empire. Ships shot their cannons at the human station. The blue shield held strong. None of the weapons could break through. Then something else happened that shocked the Empire fleet. More human ships appeared from behind asteroids and space rocks. They had been hiding. But these ships looked different from the small ones the Empire had seen before. They were bigger and had strange designs. They moved faster than Empire ships. Admiral, said the sensor officer. Those human ships, and they're moving at impossible speeds. Engineer Bo Young was watching the battle from her command center on New Busan. Phase 2, she said into her communicator. Show them what human engineering can do. The human ships began to attack. Their weapons were not the simple lasers the Empire expected. They fired beams of pure energy that cut through Empire ship shields like they were paper. One Empire ship exploded, then another. The human ships moved around the big Empire fleet like flies around a bear. They were too fast to hit, but their weapons were deadly. How is this possible? Admiral Kang Ho shouted. Humans are supposed to be primitive. On Defense Station Alpha, Captain Hyun Woo was calm. Contact General Woo Jin, he told his communications officer. Tell him the Empire has arrived. Begin Operation Freedom Dawn. Far away on a hidden base in an asteroid field, General Woo Jin got the message. He was an old human with gray hair and tired eyes, but when he heard the news, he smiled. Finally, he said, send the signal to all human cells across the galaxy. The war has begun. The message went out on secret channels that the Empire did not know existed. On 1,000 different worlds, humans who worked as slaves and servants got the signal. They had been waiting for this day. Back at New Busan, the battle was not going well for the Empire. 20 of their ships had been destroyed. The human ships were too fast and their weapons too strong. Admiral, said Captain Veltak, we should retreat and call for more ships, but Admiral Kang Ho was stubborn. No, they are just humans. We can beat them. He was wrong. The humans were not just farmers and miners. They were warriors who had been preparing for this fight for decades. Engineer Bo Young activated more hidden defenses. Giant cannons rose up from the surface of New Busan. Space mines appeared around the Empire fleet. The humans had turned their entire system into a trap. This is impossible, Admiral Kang Ho said. Where did they get this technology? Captain Hyun Woo's voice came over the communication system. You want to know our secret, Admiral? We learned from you. For 100 years, humans have been watching the Empire. We studied your ships, your weapons, your tactics. Then we made everything better. It was true. Humans across the galaxy had been secretly studying Empire technology. They took what was good and improved what was bad. Human engineers were better than Empire engineers, but the Empire never knew it. The battle continued. More Empire ships were destroyed. The human ships seemed to dance around them, always one step ahead. Admiral Kang Ho finally understood that he was losing. His mighty fleet was being beaten by humans he thought were weak. "All ships retreat," he ordered. "Jump to hyperspace." But even retreating was hard. The humans had set up gravity traps that made it difficult for Empire ships to escape. Many more ships were destroyed before the rest could get away. When the Empire fleet was gone, Captain Hyunwoo looked out at space. Pieces of Empire ships floated around New Busan like metal snow. "Contact all human cells," he said. "Tell them we won the first battle. Tell them the galaxy will soon know that humans are not slaves anymore." Engineer Bo Young was already working on her next project. The Empire would come back with more ships, but humans would be ready. "How long until they return?" asked Lieutenant Minho. "Maybe a week," Captain Hyunwoo said. "But next time they will bring their whole fleet." "Good," said Bo Young over the communicator. "We want them to bring everything they have. It will make our victory even bigger." Admiral Kang Ho's damaged fleet limped back to Empire space. He had lost 50 ships to humans he thought were weak. Farmers. How was he going to explain this to Empress Veltara? But Kang Ho was starting to understand something important. These humans were not like other humans in the Empire. They were something new, something dangerous. As his ship jumped into hyperspace, Kang Ho thought about his grandmother's stories. Maybe humans really were special. Maybe the stories about free humans were not just dreams. Behind him, the humans of New Busan were preparing for the real war. This first battle was just the beginning. Soon, the entire galaxy would learn what humans could do when they fought for their freedom. Dr. Sojin worked alone in her laboratory aboard Admiral Kang Ho's flagship. Around her were broken pieces of human ships and weapons from the battle at New Busan. She had been studying them for 3 days, and what she found made her hands shake. Human technology was not primitive. It was better than anything the Empire had. Much better. She picked up a piece of human armor. It was light as air, but stronger than Empire battle steel. The metal had patterns she had never seen before. When she tested it, her strongest weapons could not break it. "This is impossible," she whispered to herself. Dr. Sojin had spent her whole life studying aliens. She knew every species in the galaxy. She knew their strengths and weaknesses. But these humans were different from anything in her books. Her door opened. Admiral Kang Ho walked in. He looked tired and angry. "What have you learned?" he asked. Dr. Sojin showed him the test results on her screen. "Admiral, these humans have been lying to us. Their technology is not primitive. Look at this." She held up a human computer chip. It was smaller than her fingernail. "This little piece has more computing power than our biggest ship computers. And look at this." She showed him a human weapon. "This gun can fire 100 shots before it needs new power. Our guns can only fire 10 shots. Admiral Kang Ho stared at the evidence. "How long have they had this technology?" "I don't know," Dr. Sojin said, "but I think they have been hiding it for a very long time." On the planet Veltharos, Ambassador Ginny walked through the busy streets of the capital city. She looked like any other human slave. She carried bags for her alien master and kept her head down. But Ginny was not really a slave. She was a spy. She had been living on Veltharos for 15 years, watching and learning. The aliens around her had no idea that she was sending information to the human resistance. Ginny went into a small shop that sold food. The alien owner did not look at her. To him, she was just another human slave. But in the back of the shop, Jin-ai used a hidden communicator. "This is Jin-ai," she said quietly. "The Empire knows about New Busan. They are scared." A voice answered, "Her." It was General Wu Jin from his secret base. "Good," he said. "Are you ready for the next part of the plan?" "Yes," Jin-ai said. "I will contact Empress Veltara tomorrow." "Be careful," General Wu Jin said. "Once you reveal yourself, there is no going back." Ginny smiled. I have been waiting 15 years for this moment. Back on Nexus Prime, Empress Veltara was very angry. She sat on her throne in the Great Hall, listening to Admiral Kang Ho's report about the battle at New Busan. You lost 50 ships to farmers? She hissed. My lady, they were not farmers, Admiral Kang Ho said. They had weapons and shields better than ours. High Counselor Yulthek, the Empire's chief strategist, stepped forward. He was an old alien, with blue skin and 4 eyes. This is disturbing news, he said. If humans have this technology, where did they get it? Maybe they stole it, suggested General Thekvar. Dr. Sojin shook her head. No, General. They did not steal this technology. They invented it, and they have been developing it for many years. That's impossible, Empress Veltara said. Humans are slaves. They have no education, no scientists, no engineers. I thought so too, Dr. Sojin said. But I was wrong. These humans are not like the humans we know. Far away in space, Admiral Dong Hyun commanded a fleet that did not officially exist. His ships were hidden in the empty spaces between star systems. For 50 years, he had been building this secret fleet. Admiral, said Captain Mi Young from her ship. We got the signal from New Busan. Should we begin Phase 2? Admiral Dong Hyun looked at the stars around him. Soon those stars would see the greatest war in galactic history. Yes, he said. Send ships to the Kethra system and the Voxtal colonies. It's time to free our people. Captain Mi Young smiled. She had been waiting her whole life for this order. All ships, she said over the fleet communicator. Operation Freedom Dawn is now active. Free every human, destroy every slave ship, show the galaxy what we really are. On Nexus Prime, Empress Veltara was meeting with her war council. They were trying to understand how humans had become so dangerous. My lady, said High Counselor Yulthek, I have been thinking about this problem. What if these humans at New Busan are not the only ones? What do you mean? The Empress asked. What if there are free humans all across the galaxy? What if they have been hiding from us? The idea scared everyone in the room. The Empire ruled because they were stronger than everyone else. But if humans were stronger than the Empire, that's impossible, said General Thekvar. We would have found them. But Dr. Sojin was remembering things. Strange reports from across the galaxy. Humans appearing in places they should not be. Technology showing up that was too advanced. Maybe we did find them, she said slowly. Maybe we just did not understand what we were seeing. Her communicator beeped. Dr. Sojin, you have a visitor. She looked confused. I'm not expecting anyone. The visitor says her name is Ambassador Jin Ai. She says you will want to talk to her. Dr. Sojin's eyes went wide. She looked at Empress Veltara. My lady, humans don't have ambassadors. Bring her here, the Empress ordered. A few minutes later, Jin-A walked into the throne room. She did not look like a slave anymore. She wore clean clothes and walked with confidence. Behind her were 2 Empire guards. Your Imperial Majesty, Jin-A said with a small bow. Thank you for seeing me. You are human, Empress Veltara said. How are you an ambassador? Jin-A smiled. I represent the Free Human Alliance. We have been waiting to meet you for a very long time. The room was silent. Everyone stared at Jin-A. Free Human Alliance? High Counselor Yulthek asked. There is no such thing. Oh, but there is, Jin-A said. We have been growing in secret for 200 years. We have ships, planets, armies, and now we are ready to talk. Admiral Kang Ho stepped forward. Talk about what? Jin-A's smile disappeared. We want the Empire to free all human slaves. We want the Empire to stop attacking other species. We want the Empire to change. And if we say no? Empress Veltara asked. Then there will be war, Jin-A said simply. Total war. And you will lose. General Thekvar laughed. One human threatens the mighty Empire? Not one human, Jin-A said. Millions of humans. We are everywhere. We have been watching you, learning from you, preparing to fight you. She took out a small device and pressed a button. The big screen in the throne room turned on. It showed space battles happening all over the galaxy. This is happening right now, Janae said. Human fleets are attacking Empire slave ships in 40 different systems. We are freeing our people. On the screen, they could see human ships destroying Empire vessels. The human ships moved fast and hit hard. The Empire ships could not fight back effectively. Impossible, whispered Dr. Sojin. We have been preparing for this day for 2 centuries, Janae continued. Every human slave you thought was weak was actually a spy. Every human worker was actually a saboteur. Every human servant was actually a soldier. Admiral Kang Ho felt cold. He thought about all the human slaves on Empire ships and planets. What if they were all warriors in disguise? You have 1 week to decide, Janae said to Empress Veltara. Free all slaves and stop your expansion, or face total war. We will never surrender to humans, the Empress hissed. Janae nodded sadly. Then you will face the consequences. She pressed another button on her device. Admiral Donghyun. They have chosen war. A man's voice came from the device. Understood, Ambassador. All fleets are moving to attack positions. Janae looked around the room one last time. You could have chosen peace. Instead, you chose to learn why humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. She walked out of the throne room, leaving the Empire leaders in shock. Dr. Sojin looked at her test results again. Now she understood. The humans had not just copied Empire technology. They had made it better. Much better. My lady, she said to Empress Veltara, I think we are in serious trouble. Outside, Janae was escorted to a small ship. As she left Nexus Prime, she looked back at the capital of the Empire. Soon, she whispered, you will be free too. The war between humans and the Empire had begun, and the Empire was about to learn that they had made the biggest mistake in galactic history. Admiral Kang Ho stood on the bridge of a human ship for the first time in his life. The Liberation was Captain Hyunwoo's ship, and now Kang Ho was helping to lead the final attack on the Imperial Palace. Strange how things had changed. The man, who once served the Empire as a slave, had returned to free his people. Admiral, said Captain Hyunwoo, the palace shields are down. We can land our troops. Kang Ho looked down at Nexus Prime. The great capital city was burning in some places, but most of it was still intact. The humans had been careful not to hurt innocent people. Begin the landing, Kang Ho ordered. But remember, we are here to liberate, not to destroy. 50 years ago, when Kang Ho was a young slave, he had cleaned floors in that same palace. Now he was coming back as a liberator. In the palace throne room, Empress Veltara sat alone. Her advisors had all fled or been captured. Her great empire, which had ruled the galaxy for 3,000 years, was ending. The big doors opened. Admiral Kang Ho walked in, followed by human soldiers, but they did not point their weapons at her. They just stood at attention. Empress, Kang Ho said with a small bow. I am here to accept your surrender. Veltara looked at him with her yellow eyes. I remember you. You used to be my slave. Yes, Kang Ho said. And now I am free. And so will everyone else in the galaxy. The Empress stood up slowly. She was old and tired. I surrender, she said quietly. The Galactic Empire surrenders to the Free Human Alliance. On ships across the galaxy, humans and freed aliens celebrated. The Empire was finished. Dr. Sojin was in her laboratory, but now she was working with human scientists. She had chosen to help humanity instead of fighting them. Dr. Sojin, said Engineer Bo Young, we need your help to find all the hidden slave camps. Of course, Dr. Sojin said. I have files on every Empire operation. I will give you everything. She had spent her whole life serving the Empire. Now she wanted to help fix the damage the Empire had caused. Captain Mi Young's dreadnought was orbiting a planet called Vrextal. This world had been a prison planet where the Empire sent aliens who fought back. Now it was being liberated. Captain, said her communications officer, the prison guards have surrendered. The prisoners are free. Mi Young smiled. Send medical ships to help them. Some of those people have been in prison for decades. Across the galaxy, the same scene was happening on hundreds of worlds. Human fleets arrived, freed the slaves, and began helping them rebuild their lives. Commander Taimin was on the planet Kethra, watching as freed slaves were reunited with their families. Many of them had not seen each other for years. "Commander," said Lieutenant Daun, "all Empire bases in this sector have been liberated. What are your orders?" "Begin reconstruction," Taimin said. "Help these people build new governments. Let them choose how they want to live." This was the human way. They did not want to rule other species. They wanted every species to be free to choose their own path. 5 years later, the galaxy was very different. The former imperial capital had been transformed into a center of learning and cooperation. The old palace was now a university where aliens from hundreds of species came to study together. Admiral Kang Ho, now called Chancellor Kang Ho, worked in an office that used to belong to Empire generals, but instead of planning wars, he was planning peace. "Chancellor," said his assistant, a young alien named Vexra, "the new member worlds are ready to vote on the trade agreement." Kang Ho smiled. The Galactic Liberation Alliance now had 1,200 member worlds. All of them were free. All of them had chosen to join. In another part of the city, Dr. Sojin was teaching alien children about science. She had helped write new textbooks that taught truth instead of Empire propaganda. Dr. Sojin asked a small alien child, "Why did the Empire hurt so many people?" "Because they were afraid," Dr. Sojin said gently. "They thought that to be strong, they had to make others weak. But humans taught us that real strength comes from helping others." Captain Mi Young was now Admiral Mi Young, in charge of the Alliance Defense Fleet. But this fleet was different from the Empire's military. It protected people instead of conquering them. "Admiral," said her second-in-command, "we got a signal from the Outer Rim. Pirates are attacking merchant ships." "Send a rescue fleet," Mi Young ordered, "and offer the pirates a choice: join the Alliance or leave our space." Most pirates chose to join. Life was better in the Alliance than in the old Empire. Engineer Bo Young had built a new type of ship that could travel between galaxies. Humans were curious about what other life might exist beyond their own galaxy. "Bo Young," said Commander Taimin, now Director of Exploration, "are the new ships ready?" "Yes," she said with excitement. "We can reach the Andromeda Galaxy in 6 months. Who knows what new friends we might find." Ambassador Jin A worked at the Alliance headquarters, helping new species join the Alliance. Every week, more planets asked to become members. "Ambassador," said her aide, "the Zephyrian Confederation wants to join the Alliance. They're offering to share their medical technology." "Excellent," Ginny said. "The more we share knowledge, the better life becomes for everyone." On New Busan, where the war had started, Captain Hyunwoo was now Governor Hyunwoo. His planet had become a symbol of freedom across the galaxy. "Governor," said his assistant, "we have visitors from Earth. They want to see where the liberation started." Humans from Earth, the original human homeworld, came to visit New Busan to learn about their history. Many Earth humans had never known about the Empire or the war. General Wu Jin, now retired, spent his time writing books about the Liberation War. He wanted future generations to remember how freedom was won. "The most important lesson," he wrote in his book, "is that no one species should rule others. Every being in the galaxy has the right to choose their own destiny." The former Empress Veltara lived quietly on a small farm. The Alliance had not punished her, but had asked her to spend her remaining years helping repair the damage the Empire had caused. "I was wrong," she wrote in her diary. "I thought ruling others would make us strong, but I see now that helping others is much better." The galaxy was peaceful now, but not because one strong power forced peace on everyone. It was peaceful because different species worked together and helped each other. The Alliance had rules, but they were simple. No species could enslave another. No world could be conquered against its will. Everyone had the right to live freely. When problems happened, the Alliance sent mediators instead of armies. When disasters struck, they sent help instead of conquerors. Children who grew up in the new galaxy could not imagine life under the Empire. To them, freedom was normal. Cooperation was normal. Peace was normal. In the great library on Nexus Prime, there was a memorial wall with the names of everyone who had died under Empire rule. Billions of names covered the wall. People came from across the galaxy to remember the victims and promise that such suffering would never happen again. At the bottom of the memorial was a message written in every language in the galaxy. Here lie those who died in chains. They are remembered by those who live in freedom. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. Admiral Sung Ho, now very old, stood before the memorial with his great-granddaughter. She was too young to remember the Empire. "Grandfather," she asked, "why did humans fight the Empire?" "Because," he said softly, "freedom is not something you can give to people. It's something people must have. And when someone tries to take it away, good people must fight to protect it." The little girl nodded, though she did not fully understand yet. Someday she would. And someday, if freedom was ever threatened again, she and others like her would be ready to defend it. The galaxy was free. The age of empire was over. The age of cooperation had begun. And in the vast space between the stars, human ships continued to explore, continued to discover, and continued to spread the message that had changed everything. No one should live in chains. Everyone deserves to be free. The war was over. The peace had begun. And it would last as long as people remembered the price of freedom and the courage of those who fought for it. Commander Taman stood on the bridge of the Soul's Vengeance, the largest ship in the human fleet. Through the big window, he could see thousands of human ships coming out of hyperspace around Nexus Prime. This was the moment his people had been planning for 200 years. "All ships report ready, Commander," said Captain Sung Woo from his position at the communication station. Taman nodded. Around him, his crew worked at their stations. They were calm and focused. They had trained their whole lives for this day. "How many ships do we have?" Taman asked. 10,000 ships in our main fleet," reported Lieutenant Dayun. "Another 5,000 ships are attacking Empire bases across the galaxy." Taman smiled. The Empire had thought humans were weak. They were about to learn how wrong they were. On Nexus Prime, alarms were ringing everywhere. Empire officers ran through the hallways of their command center, trying to understand what was happening. "Report!" shouted Empress Veltara as she entered the war room. "My lady," said High Counselor Yulthek, his 4 eyes wide with fear. "Human ships are appearing everywhere, thousands of them." The big screen showed space around Nexus Prime. Human ships were coming out of hyperspace in groups. Each group had hundreds of ships. They were bigger and more advanced than anything the Empire had seen. "Where did they all come from?" "Admiral," Kang Ho asked. Dr. So-Jin was studying the readings from her sensors. "They're ships. They don't match any design in our databases. It's like they built a completely new type of spacecraft." On the Soul's Vengeance, Fleet Admiral Sung Ho had just arrived on the bridge. He was the supreme commander of all human military forces. He was old, but strong, with gray hair and determined eyes. "Open a channel to the entire galaxy," he ordered. His face appeared on screens across every Empire world, every slave planet, every space station. Billions of aliens saw him for the first time. "People of the galaxy," Fleet Admiral Sung Ho said, in a voice that was calm but powerful. "My name is Admiral Sung Ho of the Free Human Alliance. For 3,000 years, the Galactic Empire has enslaved and murdered innocent beings across the stars." On Nexus Prime, Empress Veltara watched the broadcast with growing anger. "Today," Admiral Sung Ho continued, "that ends. We are here to free every slave, liberate every oppressed world, and bring justice to those who have caused so much suffering." Tucker. Camera pulled back to show the massive human fleet surrounding Nexus Prime. Ship after ship filled the screen as far as the eye could see, to the Empire leaders. "Surrender now and you will be treated fairly. Continue to fight and you will face the full power of humanity." Captain Mi-young commanded the human dreadnought Busan's Fury. Her ship was 10 times bigger than the largest Empire vessel. On her bridge, she watched as Empire ships tried to form a defense line. "Captain," said her weapons officer, "Empire fleet is moving to attack position." How many ships do they have? Mi Young asked. About 800 ships, Captain. Mi Young almost laughed. 800 Empire ships against 10,000 human ships. It would not be a battle. It would be a lesson. All ships, she said over the fleet communication system, prepare to demonstrate human technology. The strategic AI called Hansol was coordinating the entire human battle network. Hansol was an artificial intelligence created by human scientists. It could think faster than any organic brain and control thousands of ships at once. Admiral Zhongho, Hansol's voice said through the ship's speakers. Empire forces are trying to organize a defense. Should we wait for them to attack first? No, Admiral Zhongho said. Show them what our ships can do. The human fleet began to move. But they did not move like any fleet the Empire had ever seen. The ships moved together, like one giant creature. They turned and flew in perfect formation as if they were all controlled by one mind. On Nexus Prime, the Empire officers watched in amazement. How are they doing that? Asked General Thekvar. No species can coordinate that many ships, Dr. Sojin said. It's impossible. But humans had done what was impossible. They had created an AI that could control their entire fleet as one unit. The Empire fleet fired first. 800 ships shot their weapons at the human fleet. Red beams of energy flew across space toward the human ships. But something amazing happened. The human ships had shields that were like nothing anyone had ever seen. The Empire weapons hit the shields and simply bounced off. Not a single human ship was damaged. Impossible, whispered Admiral Kang Ho. Then the human ships fired back. Their weapons were beams of pure white energy that cut through Empire ships like a hot knife through ice. One shot from a human ship could destroy 3 Empire ships. Captain Mi Young's dreadnought fired its main cannon. The beam was so powerful that it went through 5 Empire ships in a row, destroying all of them. In just 10 minutes, half of the Empire fleet was destroyed. All Empire ships retreat, ordered Admiral Kang Ho. But the human ships were faster, much faster. They caught up to the running Empire ships and destroyed them one by one. On planets across the galaxy, other battles were happening. Human fleets appeared at every major Empire base at the same time. It was a coordinated attack bigger than anything in galactic history. Commander Ji-Hai led the attack on the slave world of Kethron. When her ships arrived, they found millions of aliens working in terrible conditions. The aliens were weak and sick from years of slavery. Free the slaves, Ji-Hai ordered. Destroy the guard stations. Her ships moved quickly. They destroyed the Empire guards and landed on the planet. Human soldiers came out of the ships and began helping the freed slaves. You are free, Ji-Hai told the aliens through a translator. The Empire cannot hurt you anymore. The freed aliens could not believe it. Many of them cried with joy. On another world, Captain Hyun-sik was attacking an Empire weapons factory. The factory made the guns and bombs that the Empire used to control. The galaxy, destroy everything, he ordered. But be careful not to hurt any workers. The human ships used precise weapons that could destroy machines but not harm people. In 1 hour, the entire weapons factory was destroyed, but not a single worker was hurt. Back at Nexus Prime, the battle was almost over. The Empire fleet was completely destroyed. Not a single human ship had been lost. Empress Veltara sat on her throne staring at the screen that showed the human fleet. 10,000 ships surrounded her planet. My lady, said High Counselor Yultek, what are your orders? Before she could answer, Admiral Xiang Ho's voice came over the communication system. Empress Veltara, your fleet is destroyed. Your bases across the galaxy are being liberated. You have lost. The Empress was quiet for a long moment. What do you want from us? She finally asked. Surrender, Admiral Sung Ho said simply. Agree to free all slaves. Agree to stop attacking other worlds. Agree to pay for the damage you have caused. And if we refuse? The screen showed Captain Mi Young's dreadnought moving closer to Nexus Prime. Its weapons were pointed at the planet. Then, we will destroy every Empire ship, every Empire base, and every Empire leader. Admiral Sung Ho said, we do not want to hurt innocent people, but we will do whatever it takes to end the Empire's evil. Dr. Sojin looked at the readings from the human dreadnought. My lady, that one ship has enough firepower to destroy our entire planet. Admiral Kang Ho stepped forward. Empress, we cannot win. Their technology is too advanced. Their fleet is too big. Han Solo's voice came over the speakers again. Empire leaders, you have 1 hour to decide. Surrender and live, or fight and die. Commander Taman watched the Empire capital from his ship. He thought about all the humans who had died as slaves. He thought about all the aliens who had suffered under Empire rule. Soon, he said to himself, the galaxy will be free. On worlds. Across the galaxy, the news was spreading. The mighty Galactic Empire was being defeated by humans. Species that had been slaves for centuries were learning that freedom was possible. The Empire had 1 hour to decide. But everyone knew what the choice would be. The age of the Empire was ending. The age of freedom was about to begin. Empress Veltara looked at her advisors. They all looked scared and defeated. We built this empire over 3,000 years, she said sadly. And it will end today, Admiral Kang Ho said quietly, unless we surrender. The Empress closed her eyes. When she opened them again, she knew what she had to do.